How you doing? It's Kai here. In this video, we're going to be covering Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. Rich Dad Poor Dad. So this is pretty much like the Bible of personal finance. A very powerful concept in this book called the cash flow quadrant. And what I'll do in this video is I'm going to be covering what that cash flow quadrant is and how you can particularly use it. So let's have a look. Yeah, so Robert Kiyosaki talks about a thing called the cash flow quadrant. Okay, so the cash flow quadrant, what is this? So 4 types of people in the world that spend money. So it looks like this. So you've got the E, you got the S, and then you got the B, and then you got the I. So what does E stand for? E stands for employee. S stands for self-employed or sole trader. B stands for big business, and I stands for investor. So the cash flow quadrant, what it is employees make money a certain way. So they have a job, they earn income from a job, they spend money on their expenses like the house, utilities, and gas and everything like that, and that's it. That they're employees, and that's all they are. Okay, not saying they're anything bad or anything, but they're employed. That's how they spend the money. So S, what it is S people, they are self-employed. So they've left the employees becoming employed, and they wanted to start their own business because they hate working in a job, and they want to become their own boss, right? But these guys, they make money. The way they make money is they go out there, they get a client, they do the work, they go out there, get a client, do the work. So it's just this up and down, up and down, up and down. It's a seesaw. Go find the client, do the work, find the client, do the work. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. And these guys work really hard, even harder than the E's, right? Because it's not really 9 to 5 for these guys. These guys are really going out there and they're just hardcore. I've been in that phase before. But what you want to do, what Robert Kiyosaki talks about is he's telling people to get out from becoming an E and an S to the B and I's. Okay, so the B stands for big business. So big business stands for when you own a business that's scalable, that's automated, and it produces money for you without you even working for it. So what these guys do, if you ever get into this place, is that you're creating systems in which you can make income, right? So you're making income from, it could be from network marketing. So he talks about network marketing quite a bit. So he talks about where you're selling a product and someone else uses that product and you generate passive income, right? So you're building a big business there. Or some other people, they build an e-commerce business where they set up an online store, might be all up front, and then all of a sudden it becomes all automated. So people are just going in there shopping, and then money goes into the bank account, and they're just running it now. So they're not really working for money. Their money works for them. Okay, which leads to the next part, which is an I quadrant. So, and by the way, this area is where you make the big money. This is where you make the little money. Okay, so and finally you want to get to the I quadrant. Okay, so what you want to do, you want to get to the I quadrant. The I quadrant, what it is that this is the area where people use their money to invest in particular entities such as stocks and real estate, and this is where, and also business at the same time. And this is where the money comes from. A lot of money comes from their investing activities. And what Robert Kiyosaki says is that people go through phases. So they go through the employee phase and they move into S quadrant, then they go to the B quadrant, and then they finally go into the I quadrant. You want to try and get to these quadrants as fast as possible. Or, it will take your time, but obviously you want to try and get to these quadrants because this is where the big money is. And I think it's a really powerful way to look at how money is flowed and if you want to go a bit deeper is that, I won't get into the financial statements, but this is just the very basics of it. The cash flow quadrant is how people spend money in particular areas and how they can produce income and how they can, how their life changes, because each of these quadrants have their pros and cons. I mean, the pro for this one is that you're very stable. You're not thinking about money. You just go to work, you get paid, and that's it. You don't really think about that. But the thing is that it's a 9 to 5. It takes up a lot of your time. But if you ever get to this area such as investor, you don't have 9 to 5 anymore. This money is already being produced for you. You probably even making even more of that, but it takes a lot of effort, skill, and knowledge to get to these 2 areas. And I think what Robert Kiyosaki talks about is that what you can do is, as an employee, you want to work there, save money, right? And then when you're ready, you can probably skip the S part. Don't go there. Go straight to the B and try and buy a business that's all automated and everything. But obviously there's going to be some sort of work behind the scenes there, obviously, but you're not going to be working as hard as the E's, or maybe you do, I don't know, but yeah, like you want to save up your cash and move into the B or move into the I and buy your investments, which will eventually get rid of you at 95, and then you can just live here entirely. So that is the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. I hope that helps. It's a very basic way in which you can see how money flows in each of those quadrants and what you can do. It really sets up the roadmap in which you can start from employee and move over to the B and I quadrants. So I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. See you guys next one. Cheers.